If you drink yourself to an early grave, it's going to sound harsh, but nobody cares. Nobody cares if you get cirrhosis of the liver, if you get into a car accident, if your marriage breaks down. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if you never reach your potential as a result of drinking too much alcohol. No one cares. And it sounds harsh, but it's true. Okay, sure, maybe, your family might care, a few close friends might care, but society as a whole don't care. Why am I saying this? Because you need to realise that nobody is coming to save you. So I know this sounds out of the blue and a little bit harsh, but I'm in Edinburgh. If you can see, that's the hotel room view that we're at. We got lucky with this. I had no idea that we'd have this nice view. But before we got to Edinburgh, yesterday we were in Loch Ness. So Loch Ness, I've never been before. Heard of the Loch Ness Monster as a kid. I'd never been. It was really, really good. And we go onto this boat. And, it's a typical tourist boat tour. And they've got these announcements. And you can barely understand a word that he's saying because he's speaking with a very strong Scottish accent. So he even made a joke that most people aren't going to understand him. Here's a QR code. But, we could understand a bit. So on this boat, there's an announcement. And it just got to me. He goes, on the lock, you're not allowed to smoke and you're not allowed to vape. I'm like, okay. And he goes, but if you go downstairs, there's whiskey and beer. I was like, what? Yeah, and at first I didn't think anything of it, but after a second I was like, wait, so what's he talking about? So you're not allowed to smoke or vape. I guess because of secondhand smoke, other people are going to breathe in the fumes. Nobody really wants to be around somebody smoking. It's fair enough. But then the next thing he immediately followed it up with was, but you can drink. And I thought, well, okay, so what's the logic here? Does this make any sense? Okay, you can't smoke because it's going to damage other people's lungs, I suppose. But you can drink. You can drink. You can kill yourself. You can put a poison in your body as long as it doesn't affect everybody else. But it does affect everybody else. Think about it. When somebody drinks, what happens? Well, they become impaired. They start acting not great. They look, whatever, slurring their words. If they get in a car afterwards, they're going to get into an accident. And it does affect everybody else because they start consuming a drug in front of children, in front of teenagers. And what message is that sending to them? What difference is it if somebody smokes a cigarette? Drinking was okay, but cigarettes weren't. So there's this double standard. And this is what I'm talking about. If you drink alcohol and it damages your life, no one cares, right? Nobody cares because it's legal. Nobody cares because it's a socially an accepted thing. And when I heard this announcement, I just thought, man, just nobody cares. Like, the government doesn't care if you drink. They don't care if you die from alcohol. Nobody cares. And it's sad. It's sad. Right? You're not allowed to smoke, but you're allowed to have a drink in front of children, in front of teenagers. It doesn't matter. As long as you're not killing everybody else, like directly through secondhand smoke, as long as you're not doing that, it's okay. And I thought, that's just nonsense. Okay, sure, we're in Scotland, that's what it's known for, whiskey, whatever. It was just a bit sad. So I wanted to remind you today that no one is coming to save you here. And if you relapse, if you've stopped drinking alcohol and start drinking again, you're going to be met by the world with open arms. The world is going to accept you again. Nobody is going to start giving you a hard time. Only the people that really love you are going to give you a hard time. And me, because you watch these videos. But the society that we live in is not going to give you a hard time if you start drinking again. It's different with other drugs, right? If somebody has a addiction to cocaine and starts using cocaine again, society aren't, not going to be very kind to that person. People are going to judge them very harshly and negatively. But with alcohol, no. Oh, I knew you'd drink again. Oh, I knew you'd come back to the dark side. All these weird things that people will say. I've heard it. I've heard those things 1,000 times. I've stopped drinking. Life goes better. I'm making money. I'm in better shape. I feel better. I start drinking again, and the people that I drank with, they're almost like, we knew you wouldn't last very long. That's the world that we live in. We don't live in a world that makes drinkers stand outside in the pouring down rain like smokers have to. There's a different standard for alcohol. But guess what? It's just as destructive. It will still take decades off your life expectancy. It will put you in an early grave because you're drinking a carcinogen. There's no difference to how it affects you. And also, what difference is it if I breathe in secondhand smoke or if I watch somebody drink alcohol repeatedly over the course of my life? Which one is actually going to have a worse effect on me? Well, okay, sure, you can argue the smoke's pretty bad, and sure it is, but which one's worse? Which one's going to influence me to put that same poison in my body and get me addicted as well? Bizarre, bizarre. And, governments don't care. Nobody cares. But I care. And you should care. Yeah, so I just wanted to make this video because you just got to keep your wits about you. You've got to keep on the ball. You've got to just never forget that what alcohol is. Never forget that it's poison. Never forget that it's ethanol. Never forget that even if you see that person on the Loch Ness, on their boat, drinking that whiskey, it ain't adding anything to their life. It's not enhancing anything. All it's doing is taking away years of their life in exchange for nothing. You got to keep your wits about you all the time. Society's not changing. We might be changing. You might be changing. You might be getting better. It doesn't mean everybody is. And it might take another 100 years until the world wakes up with alcohol. Sure, it's happening, right? More and more people are choosing an alcohol-free life, but at the end of the day, it's baked into the fabric of our society, right? It's just, that's how it is, and it's not going to change. We can change, you can change. Not everyone's down to change, right? So just remember, when you hear this marketing, when you hear these little messages that just come out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, maybe a whiskey would be good on this boat. It ain't going to be good. You will gain nothing. So keep strong. I believe in you so much. And if you've not read my book yet, The 48-Hour Alcohol Reset, you're missing out. I'll put a link in the description of this video, or you just go to Amazon and search The 48-Hour Alcohol Reset, or click the link down below to order yourself a copy. The reviews so far have been out of this world. Even I'm surprised. I thought they'd be pretty good, but I've had over 100 emails now from people that saying that this was the final thing for them. So if you've not got a copy yet, grab yourself a copy, click the link down below, or go on Amazon, search The 48-Hour Alcohol Reset. I believe in you. Keep it going. Have a good day.